Hi there, welcome to day 9 of the Advent of Projects. Today I have a little briefcase for you. This is really just a cute little box for holding some treats or a pair of socks. You might even get a little thin scarf in it or something. It's just another little box just to add to our list. Now in mine I have got a bath fizzer. I just happened to see in one of our sort of cheaper shops, shall we say, around here, and I just thought it was quite a cute little gift really to give to somebody. So I've done minimal decoration on this. You can decorate it obviously as much as you want to, but I'm just here to show you really how to actually create the little briefcase. So let's get cracking. So once again, I have pre-prepared quite a bit of it just to save a little bit of time. So I'm going to make it in different colours. It's the same pack of paper. So it's our Beautiful Tidings of Christmas DSP. So it's exactly the same. I'm just using different colours and different papers so you can see a different effect on it. So the first thing we want to do is to make our inside box. So this is the box that is going to sit in here. So this is quite a straightforward box. It's a bit similar to the box that I made yesterday if you saw yesterday's video. So it's just a larger version of that. So I'm working in centimetres today. I'm trying to sort of give you a bit of a mix of sort of inches and centimetres, just so it hopefully appeals to all markets really. But again, this is really a simple box which you can easily recreate for a particular size, whatever you wanted to do. Okay, so this piece here, so this is our base, and it measures 24.5 centimetres by 20.5 centimetres. So in the UK our width is 21 centimetres, so we're just literally taking half a centimetre off there. And then I have scored at 3 centimetres and 6 centimetres on all 4 sides. So it's a really nice simple measurements. It gets a little bit more complicated when we get to the sleeve, as we have to build in a little bit of extra room. But I will give you those measurements, and there's only a few of them, so it's not so bad. So if you recall yesterday when I was making the lid for the little napkin holder, I'm just literally removing these corner pieces, and then I'm going to just cut a little V into these edges here. This is going to be hidden inside, but it just means you don't have any edges which may stick out. So I'm going to repeat this for all 4 sides. Again, this is just to give me a double wall on my box. Just gives it that nicer finish, but also it does make it remarkably stronger than it would be otherwise. So that's sort of 2 reasons why I like to do it really. There we go. So that's our box cut. So it should look like that when you've finished. So I'm just going to glue that together now. And again, if you wanted to, you could, I've just glued that on the wrong side. If that happens to you, it's because I wasn't concentrating. Just turn your box over. So I glued on here by mistake. So I'm just going to use that now as my outside. Alternatively, you could let it dry and then just remove the glue. We all make mistakes. There's ways to get around things. just going to refold these just because they're folding in the opposite direction now. And again, you may recall yesterday, these two, the last two, I always do together because I find that otherwise this last one is quite difficult to get glue onto. So if you glue them at the same time but stick them separately, then that works really well. Okay, just make sure they're stuck, and then I'm just going to glue these to the inside of my box. Just make sure you get these edges really glued down well. Sometimes they have a tendency to not hold. So there we go. So that's our base box. So now we need to make the sleeve. So again, I have pre-prepared this, but this is measuring 24.9 centimetres by 12.7. So this is just a couple mil bigger than our base, because what happens with the bases, you can see they bow a little bit. So just by giving it that extra couple of millimetres, it will hide any, it will stop it sort of bulging out really out of the side. So it's just a little tip there. So 24.9 centimetres by 12.7, and you're going to score this at 1.5, 10.1, 13.2 and 21.8. Okay, so as I say, they're a little bit unusual measurements, but there's only 4 of them, so it's not too bad. Okay, so just on this end piece, I'm just going to create a little V. And you might want to decorate at this point. I sometimes find it's easier to decorate it whilst it's flat. I haven't got directional paper, so I can use this any way I want to. I'm going to use this on here, although I do love that side. But I think for this particular project, this one will look really nice. So this is this 2 of these that you'll need, and it's 12.2 centimetres by 8.1 centimetre. As I say, if you've got directional paper, obviously you need to bear in mind what way up you're sticking these. And on that basis, you might find it easier to stick these on once it's all put together, just so that you can see exactly what's the front, back, etc. So, but if you've got a non-directional paper like myself, then I just recommend you stick them while it's still flat. And then I've got 2 further strips, so these are for these little ones here, and they are 12.2 by 12.6. Sorry, beg your pardon, 12.2 by 2.6. Otherwise that would be another rectangle. So 12.2, 2.6. And again, you just need 2 of those. Okay, so then I am going to join my box up. Now, when you join your box up, you want where the join is to be at the bottom and at the back. Okay, so just sort of give it some thought when we put it together. You don't need to worry at this stage because we're just gluing into place. Okay, so this is the join here. So this is going to be at the back and then at the bottom. So when I put my, if I get my gift out. So I'm going to pop my gift into my box, and then I'm going to slide it in. Now, when you first put this in, you might find it's a little bit tight. It is designed to fit nice and snug, but once it's been in and out a few times, you'll find that it actually fits really well. Okay, so that is our little box and sleeve made. Now what I want to do, I'm just going to put a handle onto this. If you wanted to, you could leave it like this and just do it up as a present, but I'm going to put my little handle on here. So for this, you're going to need 2 strips of coordinating cardstock. So I've gone with the cherry cobbler, which is the same for my actual box here. And these 2 pieces need to measure 14.5 centimetres by 1.8. Now, the reason I've made them at 1.8 is because they fit them perfectly into this little punch. And I thought this punch gave it a nice sort of little end detail on it. So I'm just going to punch the 2. And the reason I'm doing 2 is I'm going to double layer it so that it is a lot stronger. So I'm going to glue them together. Now, I really recommend that you use wet glue for this particular process, because whilst it is still wet, we want to be able to sort of manipulate it round a little bit. Now, one of mine must have been very slightly longer. Can you see it's just slightly sticking out there? So I'm just going to take my scissors to it. I'm not going to put it back through the punch. It's easier just to remove it with a pair of scissors. So there we go. So that's our handle. Now what I want to do is to create that lovely curve on it. So I'm just going to pop it into my trimmer, and I want to score at 2 centimetres. So the end of the actual piece will be on the 2 centimetres. Now, the reason I want you to do this while it's still wet is because this is now quite pliable still. Once it dries, it will go quite stiff. So if I bring in my original one here, you'll see this handle is now quite firm and it's quite stiff, whereas at this stage it's quite pliable. And I don't recommend you use your bone folder to put your curve in. I recommend that you just lightly run it between your finger and your thumb, and then as we stick it down, it will create this beautiful handle for us. So again, I'm just using a bit of multi-purpose glue, and you might just have to sit for a moment whilst this is gluing. You could, if you wanted to, attach it with brads, but I wouldn't recommend that you go straight through the box. I would recommend that you attach the brads to your DSP only and then glue it into place, because otherwise you're taking up space inside, which is already a nice tight fit. So I'm just using glue. As I say, you might just have to sit with it for just a moment whilst it glues into place. And then I'm just going to take some of our rhinestones. Just going to pop one on here just for detail, so it looks like it could have been a brad or something, or a screw or something, you know, that you get in briefcases. Tack, I think is the word we're looking for. So that's my handle. I'm not convinced that that is quite stuck yet, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of persuasion, but it won't take long. It's just whilst I'm still working on it, it makes you a bit nervous. So then I have already created my little tag to go onto my present. So what I did is I cut a white stocking and a stripy stocking, which is from the DSP, and then I cut another white stocking from which I cut the top piece. The bow is just coloured with Stampin' Blends in Even Evergreen, and I've just stamped the greeting. So this is from one of my favourite stamp sets this year, but it was actually in the annual catalogue, which is Tidings and Trimmings. So you can see you've got a couple of stockings in here, but I actually just used the dies for this purpose. I've punched a hole in the top, and I've got some ribbon here. Now I want my tag to dangle a little bit, so I'm just going to allow my actual ribbon to actually hang. So I'm not going to tighten it really tight. I'm just going to put a loose bow, or knot. I'm going to use a double knot on this because we've already got a bow on our stocking, so we don't need another one. And then just pull it tightly, but try and hold on to your stocking so that it gives you that dangling sort of effect, and you can put it anywhere basically on your bag once it's in place. Oops. I'm just going to cut the ends only short because I don't want this to be a big bow on this particular project, because obviously that is our design. So there we go. That is a simple little briefcase. I think it would look quite nice with something on the front here, rather than just a tag. As I say, it was more, I wanted to show you how to make the project as opposed to the decoration, because that's where you can all be creative. So I hope you like that today, and I will see you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.